So I want to introduce you guys to Paul, not only my best friend, but he's my business partner at WeKo. He's also a partner at my marketing company. So I wanted to have him on the phone for the second part of this conversation, where we kind of go over what QR Mint is, what it's going to be, what's being asked of us, and then we can go from there. In the first part, I'd like to kind of do a content collaboration thing. We hopped on our podcast today and we weren't really prepared because miscommunication. We didn't know we were having it today. And I said, look, maybe it's good. We could kill two birds with one stone when we got Mason and the crew on the phone and we could both use it as content. So that's
now I'm a reoccurring guest.
Yes, exactly. You are. Only one person has been on more than you, and that's Jason Triano. All right, so let's just get right into it. Guys, what has been happening this week in crypto? Like, what are some trending things? And let's talk about it.
Trump's NFT.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest thing last week.
Trump NFT, Trump digital trading cards.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, my God. That's such a scam, but it ran hard. It ran hard.
They had like 40. They minted like 45,000, right? Those things.
45,000.
Sold out.
$99. So it was like 1.45 million. And then the last I saw, I think I did the math yesterday. They've made about 700,000 in fees from like royalty fees.
Mm-hmm.
So not too bad. But then you watch the video on the website and it's a shell company that bought naming rights from Trump. So I don't know how much money he gets off of that, or if they paid him a flat fee, or what it was.
I'm sure he's getting a check. I'm sure he's getting a big check.
Yeah, he's probably getting a nice check.
Can guarantee that.
Well, and like before the mint, some wallet took 1,000 of them. I saw.
And they were like
happen.
super rare, right? Like
they were all the rare ones.
They like handpicked all the rare ones out of it. So like that's just like a thing that happens in projects too, where like the whole like benefit of these projects is that it's transparent. Like you can see all the wallets, you can see all the transactions. So like,
how did they do that, Tyler? How did they get in handpicked?
Basically, like before the mint, like went in and basically sent like the tokens. Like they had them in order. Like you can basically.
So it's an insider. It's an insider doing it, not somebody from the outside. Got it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody from the inside knew all the rare ones and took them for themselves.
Exactly. So then when they went to like do like a fair mint, essentially, people thought they had chances to get these like super like golden rare Trump NFTs, and they were not like up for grabs essentially.
Did Trump respond to that? Was that brought up? I don't even know.
I haven't seen him say anything. I also am not on whatever his Trump social media is, so I don't know if he's talking about it there. But they also stole the images and they forgot to take the watermarks off of some. Like they stole it from Shutterstock.
Like clip arts.
Yeah, and they forgot to take them off on certain.
Is there any roadmap or any plan for this thing? Or
no, so buying one of those things automatically gives you a ticket into this raffle. And the raffle, if you buy 45 of them, you go to the Trump Gala, which is like a Republican dinner in Florida. But you still have to pay to like get there. Like you just have a ticket to it. So that's $450 if you minted into a raffle. Oh yeah, sorry, 45. Yeah, $4,500. You get entered into a raffle where you could win dinner with him, golf at one of the resorts, a Zoom call, which is a group Zoom call, and there was a bunch of caveats in there. It was, they're all ass.
All right, so I'm going to ask for a universal Trump NFT, thumbs up or thumbs down? Down for Mason, down across the board. Paul, you?
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it other than what I just heard here, but just
so you're like this.
No, just from the fact that they went in there and pulled the rare ones out, why would you want to be involved with that team? So thumbs down.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, so that's topic number one. Give me another topic that is worth discussing.
Activision Blizzard's president is the Yuga Labs CEO now. That's pretty big for like the NFT
That
space,
is big, yeah.
All right, so tell me about that.
He's the president and COO of Activision Blizzard, and he will effectively leave that position and become the CEO of Yuga Labs sometime in 2023.
Yeah,
what is Activision?
Activision, they Call of Duty, company. World of Warcraft, a lot of different games, tons
it's
of
also a publicly traded company.
Overwatch. Yeah, it's a publicly traded company.
Which is trying to be bought by Microsoft. It's in the process of being bought
by we'll see if that goes through with the government, but I mean
there's some people suing, but the FTC is suing.
So this is good news for Yuga Labs.
Pretty big pedigreed name. I mean, the guy worked at like Google for like over a dozen years, like heading up product and stuff before he went to Activision Blizzard.
And Yuga Labs, just to clarify, is Bored Ape. That's the biggest right?
CryptoPunk. They own CryptoPunks, Bored Apes,
they got
Meebits. Yeah.
All right, that's a big one.
Cock Punch wasn't this week, but I think there's a couple cool things about Cock Punch is there's no Discord. He's come out with like 5 podcasts already. He also has something where you can input your OpenSea like NFT ID, and it gives you the high res image of the full character, and then also a zoomed up profile picture. So it's only 2 weeks in, but like, you know, Tim Ferriss I've been following for years, so you can already see.
Well, this is why I'm curious. Do the young bucks know about Tim Ferriss?
No, I have no idea who this is.
I know Tim Ferriss.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
So Paul and I kind of grew up, like we looked up to Tim Ferriss 10, 15 years ago when he came out with the book 4 Hour Work Week. We started following him. We went down his rabbit hole and all his connections. And then it's interesting to see how we look at him as like an OG. He did something totally different, came into the NFT space. So I'm curious to know, Paul, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I like where you were heading with this, but then with like the young bucks thing of like a Tim Ferriss coming into the space.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty big name for me at least, because I started listening to his podcast maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So not the original kind of audience of the, you know, his like kind of work week stuff, but more so I think he started getting very big guests on his podcast, right? Like he had Mark Zuckerberg at some point. He had a lot of like wellness people or self-improvement type folks, or just people high up in like tech or high up in their career. So I started listening to him when podcasts started to blow up like 4 or 5 years ago. He was like always a big name that popped up. So I think I'm familiar with it because of that.
He's very trusted, has a ton of credibility. Well, with a certain genre, right? So Mason, never heard of him.
Yeah, no, I don't really know enough to comment on this project. Like I've seen it, I looked at the art, thought it was fine, but I just didn't really I wasn't buying it, so I didn't really look into it. But
Paul, and how's it performing? So after the mint,
we minted it at it was 0.2 or 0.3 ETH. I can't remember. It shot up to like 1.6 the first day, and now it's trading at I think 0.8, something like that. The reason I bring it up is it's only been 2 weeks, and like there's a separate Cock Punch podcast separate from the Tim Ferriss show that already has 5 episodes. He's already given you the ability to have a profile picture in addition to the high res art. He's not doing it on Discord. He's doing it through his own blog. And it's just nice to see like things that trickle out every 2 or 3 days from a project. There's some NFT projects that we minted that we've never heard anything from since the mint, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I just bring it up, because we've spoken about the credibility of teams as being really the whole thing here. And so in the midst of the ultimate bear market, you know, comes Tim Ferriss, and you can see some signs of like, you know, somebody doing something real, not just throwing something.
Doing it right. Yeah, no, that's great. It's very interesting. Like, so what's the utility with it? Does he have a utility, or it's just like access to those podcasts?
So right now it is a bunch of characters which are going to be taking place, which are characters in a fiction story. So right now, and there's 8 clans. And it's kind of like a magic and not sci-fi. I think of like Lord of the Rings kind of deal when I think of it. It has like that feel.
Fantasy type of.
Yep. And so right now he's introducing the 8 different clans, which encompass all of the characters. And then I think there's going to be some kind of like game fighting in it, of which you then can use your character to fight. I think I'm not 100% sure of that, but that's kind of like how it's going so far.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm glad you bought it, Paul, because I believe in Tim Ferriss. Like, he's a winner.
He's also, just for you guys who don't know, Mason, he's boys with Kevin Rose.
Got it. I knew there was some connection there because I saw people talking about that. But
yeah, he's like an interesting name because it's like I guess we'll call him a Web 2 person, right? He's like he's like a very big name in like the Web 2 ecosphere, kind of transitioning into Web 3, or like bringing his audience there, but also bringing in new folks. So he's like doing it in a smart way, not just, you know, a rug pull where, you know, someone like Floyd Mayweather who's just gonna release an NFT profile picture and just he doesn't know what it was. He's probably just gonna pay like a sum to promote it. He's kind of in and out. Tim Ferriss looks like he's actually working on this. He's building a community and like working with the people, developing everything related to the NFT.
Also, all the proceeds from the mint, which I think were around $2 million, all went to charity. Cool. I don't know if the fees he's taking or not, but you know, the first 2 million it's to his charity, which is psychedelic research, but it's going to that foundation.
SPF getting arrested. He was not dropping his right to be extradited. Then he took that back, and then he was fighting to not be extradited. And now he's not fighting anymore.
What do you think is going to happen with that?
You add up all the charges, it's 115 years if he's convicted on everything to the max. I saw that. And then I think somebody in the legal system made some kind of just like flippant comment in an article which said like if he cooperates, he will, you know, get out of jail by the time he doesn't need a cane or something like that. So just kind of like that spectrum of maybe like 30 years to 100 to life.
He deserves it. Just throw him away. Start over. He's gonna get extradited to the States. It's gonna be some big trial. I don't think he's gonna tell on anybody because they're all like connected political people.
You think he'll die in jail?
I think here's what's going to happen.
I like this guy.
I think it's Catch Me If You Can and Wolf of Wall Street. Basically, the guy's going to go to jail for 2 years. He's going to get out with some kind of agreement with some kind of government. He's going to be a celebrity. He's going to be in the movies, and people are going to end up actually like in a weird way liking him, kind of like the Wolf of Wall Street kind of deal. I think he's going to get sentenced so that
this is a big one right here, Paul. It's a bold statement. Keep going.
This is a hot take.
It's a hot take.
I'm just saying, if
I like it so far.
If I had to predict, that's what I think would happen, right? I mean, the Wolf of Wall Street pulled like securities fraud on an IPO, right? And went to jail for how long?
Yeah, normally
that's
I'd
a little
agree with
less
you,
than
but
that.
he's a little less charismatic than those folks. You know, he's kind of like an kind of awkward, like high-strung type of dorky dude. I don't know if he has like the charisma to pull off a pivot into like a cool career after. I think he will get off though early, just with his connections. I mean, you saw like all the donations he's made and the like connections he's had, not just for like himself, but like his parents or like, you know, family connections. I'm sure he'll get released early and kind of just like fade and just like off the limelight, or, you know, Adam Newman style, go back and try to do the same thing and get funding from people again and possibly mess it up again in the future. I don't know about
Kevin O'Leary would fund him, he said. He said, did you see did you guys see the House committee?
Yeah.
When he was blaming CZ, he's like, this is a good kid. CZ took him out. And it's like,
I didn't hear that part.
He didn't say that word for word, but he said like CZ came after him.
I was just listening to the part where, you know, when he called them, I was like, where the is the money? Like, what's going on? Kind of deal.
Yeah, but no, he was blaming Binance.
He got crushed on CNBC. Kevin O'Leary. Did you guys see that?
No, I didn't see that one. I should watch.
On CNBC, he was like, you know, I started buying crypto in 2018. I forget the name of the reporter. He was like, hold on, I have to stop you right there. He's like, I have it in front of me. You came on CNBC in 2019 and called Bitcoin like horseshit or a scam, and he got him. He was like,
I gotta watch that. Yeah.
Well, this is the great thing about video, right? It's documented. Yeah. So we have everybody's theories and philosophies and predictions of what's going to happen. And one day we could play back the tape.
Tyler and Kev, what do you think's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. I really, like Kevin was saying, like he's not charismatic, so that doesn't really fare well for him. Yeah. It's like easy to kind of just like throw him to the side, I think, and just like he'll do a lot of time and hopefully never come back. Like I'm at this point, like I'm just like, as long as he never does anything like that ever again, like that's probably for the best. But
all right, so Paul he becomes a celebrity. He dies in prison. You, Tyler, say he does just a long time in jail.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I mean, I was like doing a version of, I think he'll get off early, like I said, but I don't think he's gonna pivot into like a social media or like a movie career or anything. Probably try to do another sort of
fades away
crypto thing. Fades away or does like another second round of trying to reform a crypto, whatever, either exchange or something, kind of like Adam Newman would be work.
All right, so Mason, what's your prediction?
I think he goes to jail probably for the lower end of the sentence, let's say like 30, 45 years. Will be my guess, but he's not going to tell on anybody because he's connected and nobody else probably gets taken down with him besides like Caroline. I don't know if she'll do any time. I think she ratted him out.
So we have all of our predictions.